Sure, being Shazam allows you to be strong, fly, shoot electricity and all of that, but does being Shazam give you the epic rap powers of Shaq?
Get set for my tete-a-tete-tete. The things I see would make you sweat. Kings and fools, they're all fish in my net. Cause I am Kazaam.
Ooh, man.
I'm more than I seem, you all are looking at your dream. In your coffee, I'm the cream. Gonna wish I get extreme.
Yeah, didn't think so. Everyone is getting excited for the first actually fun-looking DC movie in a long time. So you know what that means. Time for me to walk in and ruin everyone's happiness. Because this DC movie is not at all original. In fact, this is probably the most blatant theft of ideas I have ever seen in this business. Like, just look at the titles. Shazam, Kazaam. They are not even trying to hide their plagiarism. But this is nothing compared to how else Shazam copies Kazaam. For instance, how does Shazam and all of his powers work? Well, as the trailer shows, Billy must say Shazam, and then the powers of Shazam can flow through him. And how does Kazaam's powers also work?
Kazaam!
By saying Kazaam. Continuing with our discussion of powers, Shazam is shown here to have these little electrical currents that shoot out of him and out of his hands. Who else do we know that happens to have electrical currents shoot out of their hands? Kazaam. Although, let's be real about this, Kazaam is way more powerful than Shazam. Kazaam is able to shoot magical electricity not only out of his body, but out of a boombox. So all of y'all saying, Shazam is a strong character, you better heck off. Now that we have the main powers of these two characters established as exactly the same, it is time for us to look at the plot and prove once and for all that Shazam is copying from Kazaam. Probably because Shazam is super jealous of Kazaam's epic style. From looking at the Shazam trailer, we can see that this movie will have a bullied kid and Shazam working together and hanging out and all of that. Kazaam just so happens to have the same exact thing, where the main kid is bullied and then becomes friends with the strong and wise Kazaam, creating a dynamic duo for the ages. Oh, and did I mention that both these kids meet their powerful personas in exactly the same way in both movies? The Shazam trailer shows us Billy first beating up the bullies and then running into a subway car while being chased by the bullies. After arriving on the subway car, Billy is taken to meet the wizard Shazam. With all of that established, come and look at Kazaam with me. The main kid is running away from bullies after tricking them, and while he is trying to escape, he falls through the floor and meets Kazaam. Like, come on, DC. I know that after not making lots of money off of Justice League, you were kind of desperate, but going as far to steal all your plot from Kazaam? That is too far. No one can replicate the magic of Shaq. And the further I look into this Shazam trailer, the more and more convinced I become that Shazam is most definitely copying Kazaam. For instance, look at the family relationships of the main kids in both movies. In Shazam, both main character kids are foster kids, likely meaning that they do not have any family or they are in rough relationships with their families. In Kazaam, the main kid is being raised by his single mother, who is dating another man, while the kid's real father left the family when the kid was still a baby. The movie follows the kid as he tries to reunite with his father. Both of these movies have kids struggling with family relationships. Not only that, but the relationship each kid has with their more powerful counterpart is also very similar. When the kid in Shazam first meets Shazam, he is very afraid and does not trust Shazam. However, once he begins to feel more comfortable around Shazam, he and Shazam test out the newfound powers of Shazam. Or at least that's what this clip online would have me believe. I haven't seen the full movie yet, but it's not like I need to. I have already seen Kazaam after all. Okay, now back on topic. Kazaam has a very similar structure with how the kid meets Kazaam. At first, the kid is afraid of Kazaam, but as Kazaam continues to follow the kid around, the kid begins to trust Kazaam more and tries to test Kazaam's powers. Seriously, Shazam is exactly like Kazaam. Yet there are some DC fanatics out there who I am sure will refuse to believe the truth. They will look at all the facts I have presented them with and throw it out the window. Well, I am here to say no more, for I have true, definitive proof that Shazam is copying off of Kazaam. I now shall present my first piece of evidence, Shaq's Funhouse. Now, what exactly is Shaq's Funhouse, you ask? It was part festival, part carnival, part circus, featuring the big boy himself, Shaq. There's one extra little detail on this page that I think you should notice. Look at what date Shaq's Funhouse took place on. March 29th. March 29th. You know, it could just be me, but that date sounds familiar. What could it be? Oh, that's right. March 29th, the day Shaq's Funhouse took place, was the day after the premiere of Shazam. Could this be a coincidence? Ha! Nope. There are no coincidences. You should know this by now. Shaq purposefully scheduled Shaq's Funhouse on March 29th as an act of defiance to Shazam. He knew they were stealing his ideas. He knew they were trying to copy his greatness. And so he stood up to those big Hollywood executives and he said no. He said that if they try to steal his work, he'll just do something even bigger and better than whatever stupid red carpet they could try to pull off. I mean, come on. The website itself even says that Shaq and Gronk had a dance-off and that Waffle House provided some of the food. What more could you want, you stupid elitist Hollywood shills? Sorry, guys. It's just that this one has an emotional connection to me. You know Shaq and I are cool, and I gotta protect my boy. But I will try to stay on track here and only give you the facts of the situation. Speaking of facts, you know what else just so happened to air the day before the Shazam premiere? An HBO segment about Shaquille O'Neal, the brand. You cannot possibly tell me that this is a mistake at this point. Shaq had got both the day before and the day after the Shazam premiere plastered with his image all over the news. This was most definitely an act of defiance against all of those Warner Brothers executives thinking that they can just take away his image. And even with this, there is still more proof to my point. Look here at the Shaq's Funhouse website, at this picture of Shaq featured in the artist section. What shirt is he wearing? That's right, a Deadpool shirt, a Marvel property, providing one last diss on those DC executives. At the actual event itself though, Shaq is pictured here wearing a Superman shirt. Does this disprove my other theory about the Deadpool shirt? Well, not at all. Here, Shaq is wearing the shirt of the worst DC superhero. To remind people what this event is all about, spitting in the face of DC for their shameless stealing. But I have one last piece of evidence here that will really, truly, finally seal the deal in this case. At the Shaq's Funhouse event, Shaq called himself DJ Diesel. Now at first I was really confused. Why would Shaq, one of the most iconic, well-known names of the modern era, want to call himself DJ Diesel? The only thing that made sense is that this must once again be a part of Shaq's anti-Shazam vendetta. So then I thought, what could DJ Diesel be referencing? Well, obviously he's referencing Vin Diesel. But what connection does Vin Diesel have to Shazam? Currently, Vin Diesel is working on a new comic book movie known as Bloodshot. I personally had never heard of Bloodshot before, so I researched which comic book company published this character, and I discovered that Bloodshot was published by Valiant Comics, not Marvel, not DC. By naming himself DJ Diesel, Shaq is showing the world that he does not stand by the actions of DC in the new Shazam movie, and he is instead choosing to support the new comic book movies coming out. The ones that will refuse to steal from glorious pieces of art like Kazaam. The ones that will choose to be original, choose to expand the medium, and choose to respect the man, the myth, the legend, Kazaam. Through all of this, I think that there is a good lesson we can all learn here. That no matter what road your life takes you on, each and every single one of us are presented with a choice in our lives. We can either choose to be like DC and just completely disrespect Kazaam, or we can choose to be good, pure, and righteous as we forcefully and purposefully respect Kazaam and everything that we do. But in the end, like I said, that choice is yours. I just hope you choose the right path. That's the mission of my channel. This is why I was born. This is why I have been brought here to all of you. Someone needs to tell you the truth about Kazaam. Someone needs to save this world from the darkness it is throwing itself into, as so many people live their lives without thinking about Kazaam. But for those of you who do think about Kazaam, worry not, for our time is coming. Kazaam will return. Kazaam 2 will happen. The people are already beginning to speak up on change.org, with one person saying that Kazaam inspired them to want to be a genie. Imagine how many more people could be inspired to be genies in the future. Imagine the potential for a better world. Imagine what our world will be like once everyone in it has seen Kazaam. Just Imagine, I for one am ready for Kazaam 2 and the renaissance of peace and prosperity that shall come with it. Well, hey yo, guess who didn't prepare an end card? Yeah, yo, it's your boy. Yeah, I just don't got that style of Kazaam. I just don't have the magical rap powers of Shaq embedded in my bones. Okay, but if we want to talk about this video, do you know how many times I had to say Shazam and Kazaam together? Like, this is probably one of the most difficult videos I've had to do. Like, I was tripping over my tongue all the time, and my tongue already hurts a lot. So it's great! But anyway, I had fun putting this together, so thank you so much for watching and for stopping by for a little while. If you enjoy what you see, make sure you subscribe with those notifications on and leave a like and a comment and all that stuff I'm sure you're tired of hearing about. You can also check out our Twitch, our Discord, our Twitters or Instagrams, and all those other fun stuff. Or check out another video, because you know that's a pretty fun thing to do these days. Kazaam says you should do it. Kazaam says you should check out a video. If Kazaam says you gotta check out a video, you should do it. If Shazam told you to check out a video, don't do it. But if Kazaam tells you to check out a video, make sure you listen. Okay, I'm just going delusional now. I said Shaq and Kazaam so many times, I don't know what's going on. My head hurts. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye, everybody.